In the back of this Queen Crazy tour program, there was an HMV advert, and I spied on it. And from the 1st of December, the first 100 copies of Live Killers sold through the 36 HMV shops are autographed by Queen. So hurry, there's a limited number and only a few in each shop. So on the 1st of December, I rushed to HMV in Swansea and got there at opening time and secured my autographed copy of Live Killers, which I will cherish to my dying day.
What did I say?
During the meanwhilest.
During the meanwhilest. No, I
No,
don't
no.
like that at all.
Well, hello, it's the grizzly bear, Dexter, and me, back on YouTube with yet another enthralling, exciting, unmissable, overly produced, magnificently edited, any other plaudits you can think of, video. And today's video is, I'm sorry, rather self-indulgent. After the roaring success that was the look at my record collection, which I think had about 7 views, I thought today I'd speak about my early live music experiences, because there are a few and I think they're quite interesting. And so what if it is a little bit self-indulgent? It's my YouTube channel. If you're interested, carry on listening. If you're not interested, you can just give it a thumbs down and turn off. I've always been a lover of live music. I played in bands myself when I was younger, like a punk band and a heavy metal band when I was a young lad. And I've always really enjoyed going to see bands in concert live. The very first... Do you want to go down? Do you want to go down? Were you happy there? Were you happy? Let me on there. The very first band I saw were Queen in the NEC in Birmingham in 1979. They shouldn't have been the first band I saw though. It happened quite by accident. I'd actually got tickets to see Uriah Heep in Swansea in February of 1980, and they were going to be, well, technically Girls' School, who were supporting them, would be the band that I first saw live. And then about a week before the Queen show, a friend of mine in school couldn't go, had 2 tickets, and I said I'd buy them, not even knowing if I could go to the concert myself. My sister then, dashing white knight that she is, came to the rescue and said, oh, I'll take you to see Queen in Birmingham. So I think it's like November the 24th 1979. It was a Saturday. I watched Queen on Tis Was in the morning, and as soon as they'd finished that show, we left for the drive to Birmingham. I'll get, just grab, you want to go down? You go down, go on. Right, I'll swap Dexter on my lap for some concert programs. This is the program from that day. Queen Crazy Tour 79. Chock full of lovely photos. And that was my first live music experience. Deafened and blinded are 2 words that spring to mind. So Queen were my very first live experience. They didn't have a support band that day, so they were the first band I saw live. Fast forward then to February 1980, and it was Uriah Heep in the Bramwell Hall in Swansea. I don't have a programme from that night, nor from my next live experience, which was Iron Maiden in the Bramwell Hall in Swansea, would you believe, in June 1980. I just finished doing what were then my O-levels, called GCSEs, I guess, and my friends and I went down to the Bramwell Hall in Swansea on a beautifully sunny June afternoon. Got drunk on cider and chips, and then went to see Iron Maiden. And the day after, we met them in HMV in Swansea, would you believe? Where they decided to meet the fans. About 6 of us turned up, bless them, and I got their autographs, met all the original lineup of Iron Maiden from their first album, which was nice. Later on in the year then, I saw my second Queen concert. This was in December, would have been the 6th of December, around about then, 6th of December I think, 1980, in the NEC, again in the NEC in Birmingham, only this time in like a seated hall. The first one was an all standing affair, and we were like, I don't know, 5 yards from the stage. This though, we're a bit further back, seated up on one of the stands on the side. My girlfriend at the time and I caught the train to Birmingham from Swansea on the Friday, so we bunked off school and kind of absconded from home because I can't remember the exact details, but either our respective parents were expecting us back later that night, or I told them we were staying somewhere with one of my girlfriend's relatives, and she'd obviously told her parents a similar story, but we didn't have anywhere to stay. We were 16 years of age. We went up, saw the show, and then slept on Birmingham New Street Station until we could get a train to Bristol, then got a mail train from Bristol to Cardiff, and then a train from Cardiff back to Swansea, where we arrived at 10 o'clock on Saturday morning, and got home to be instantly grounded for a week, as you could imagine. Left a lot of people worried sick. But that was live music. That was live music back then. You know, you just did what you had to do to see the bands you loved. And then early '81, we saw Black Sabbath in Sophia Gardens in Cardiff, and there's an interesting story behind that show because the promoter actually sold enough tickets for 2 concerts, would you believe, on the same night. So we were like 5 minutes into watching the support band when like the curtain behind the drummer ruffled and somebody's come on and tell them, like almost like a hook, you know, get off. We then heard like a commotion outside, smashing windows, things like a full-scale riot going on outside. So Black Sabbath agreed to play 2 shows in one night. And yes, we did try to get back in for the second show, but we couldn't. We went out like through one door and you obviously weren't allowed back in. They wouldn't get away with that now, were they? In today's sort of like health and safety obsessed, risk assessment obsessed world, there's no way you could do that. The whole thing would have been called off. Different times, 1981. Later on that year, in spring of '81, I think it was, we saw, again, my girlfriend at the time and I, we both loved live music. We saw Judas Priest in Sophia Gardens in Cardiff, to a programme from that show. It's really strange to a programme. They introduced the band members, and it's like Rob Halford, date of birth, where he was born, hair blonde, eyes green. Surely, very important information. Summer of 1981, Susan and I travelled to see Motorhead and Ozzy Osbourne and a few other bands at Port Vale's football ground. I can't remember how we got up to the show. I think it's caught like a series of buses, but we managed to catch a lift home on a bus to Swansea. Otherwise, we'd have been stuck in Stoke, probably until the next day and grounded again. But yeah, Motorhead, Ozzy Osbourne's first ever UK show with Randy Rhoads. would you believe? Who else was on the bill? Triumph, Riot, Frank Marino, and Vardis. I've got a Riot CD somewhere. Good band, good band. Next up, I had tickets to go and see Queen in 1982 in Milton Keynes, but the date then coincided with there's a program from it, one of my A levels, so I couldn't go. So the friend who I bought tickets off 3 years previously bought my tickets for the Hot Space tour and got me this program as a thank you. So thank you. Yeah, that was that. 1981 or 2, I also saw Gillan in Swansea. That was a good show, in the top rank in Swansea. And the following year, he played in the Bramwyn Hall in Swansea. Fantastic venue, small, compact, just a great place to see a band. Anyway, saw Gillan, supported by a band called Spider. We got out of the show, walked back to our car, parked in Swansea, and called in for some chips on the way back. And in the queue for the chip shop were the members of Spider. So we met them, went back on their tour bus, got all their autographs, as you can see there. Just, you know, magic times. Also, that year we saw, I don't know if, not a very big band, a band called Amazulu. They played in the Student Union bar in the Polytechnic of Wales, where I was at the time, and it sold out, and my friend and I didn't have tickets to go, so we were sat in the Union bar having a pint after lectures when the band turned up and asked for some help to unload their equipment from their bus. So my friend and I helped unload the stuff and got put on the guest list for the night. And then after the show, we went back onto the tour bus, had a couple of beers with them. We were young and naive young boys at the time. Perhaps had we been a little bit older and wiser, the night might have gone a little bit differently. But considering they were an all-girl band, or mostly all-girl band, a male drummer. But I digress. We weren't those sort of boys. Definitely not. 84, Queen, the Works tour, again in the NEC in Birmingham. This time I think we went up on a like a dedicated tour bus type thing, you know, bus up and a bus back and a concert ticket. So that was Queen in 84. 85 then was a busy year. We saw Dire Straits twice in the space of a week, I think it was, in the end, again in the NEC in Birmingham, and saw this chap, Bruce Springsteen. Well, I say saw him. We were in Roundhay Park in Leeds at the same time he was there. I'm not going to say saw him because he was so far away, so far away. But again, fantastic concert experience, and one I wouldn't have wanted to have missed. Tickets were a Christmas present from my girlfriend, and I loved Bruce Springsteen and still do. So that's that. Bruce Springsteen, Born in the USA tour. Following year, 86, brought Queen's last ever tour, A Kind of Magic, the Magic Tour. Saw them twice on that tour, once in Wembley Stadium, and that was also recorded for video, DVD, whatever, and a live album. And Susan, my girlfriend, lucky thing, she saw them twice at Wembley. She saw them on the Friday night and the Saturday night. I just saw them on the Saturday night, and then we were both there with Susan's little sister Emma to see Queen's last ever live show at Nebworth in the, was it July 1979? Wow. August the 9th, 1979. August the 9th, 1986. Queen's last ever show, Nebworth Park, Stevenage. Yeah, fantastic day. Huge crowd. I think we were like about halfway back that day. But again, a wonderful day. And that really, when Queen stopped touring, that was about it really, for me, live music wise. I was getting older, so I say older, 22, 23 years of age, so but that kind of like the romance and the adventure gone. Susan and I split up, and yeah, live music for me was never the same. Saw a few bands after that. I got like an Alice Cooper program here from his Trash tour. Saw bands like U2, Rolling Stones, Dire Straits again, Bruce Springsteen again in Cardiff. That was really good. Saw him with Lisa. That was excellent. Paul Weller. Who else? A lot. U2. Loads and loads of bands. I did make a list before this, but then I didn't really want to just read off a list. I'd rather just do it off the top of my head. But I'm glad I got. These are just some of the concert programs I've got. I've got a lot more upstairs, up in the loft. But yeah, happy memories of halcyon days of youth and innocence and adventure. Because it really was. It was an adventure going to some of these places. The heavy metal thing is in Port Vale, where we saw Motorhead and Ozzy and a few other bands. That was a terrifying experience. There were rival gangs of Hell's Angels fighting in the crowd. That was a scary day out. What were we, 17 years of age? You know, but yeah, they were happy days. Always accompanied with a flagon of scrumpy or cider, and like say hitching lifts, absconding, catching trains, doing what you had to do to see your heroes live. The thought of my daughter doing that now would terrify me. So quite how my parents and Susan's parents allowed us to get away with it. I guess they were just different times. Right, that's that for this week. In next week's exciting video, I'm going to live stream me renewing my car insurance. No, that's a joke. It's still not got that bad just yet. No, I'm going to start a little mini series next week where I want to share my favourite landscape photography locations with you. So I think I got about 3 or 4 planned over the next 3 or 4 weeks, obviously, of various locations that I love shooting from. And I'll tell you why I like shooting there. Share the best times of year to go, the best places to shoot from, and the best conditions to look for. So if you're going to find that interesting, stick around over the next couple of weeks. If not, then bye. Anyway, that's it from Dexter and me. You alright down there? Yeah, he's fine. For this week, and we'll see you again very, very soon. Take care, stay safe, stay well. Bye bye.